on soccer for that.
Oh, yeah,
anniversary.
yes, that's the
Anniversary.
one. I will talk about it.
Yes.
So, since 2023, Shibuya is the most popular destination for foreign travelers in Japan. And all these travelers, when come to Shibuya, they go to the statue of Hachiko and make a long line to have picture taken with the statue. So it is a very nice thing to see all the people from all over the world taking pictures with Hachiko and smiling with the story of Hachiko. So today I'd like to talk about the Hachiko as well as like character who had the first dog outside of Japan because of Hachiko and so things like that. So, this year I'll be presenting the Salon de Hachiko, which is like exchanging thoughts and ideas regarding Hachiko in very friendly settings. So the first Salon Hachiko was held at the University of Tokyo in January this year, and I have invited the University of Tokyo students. There is a club called Hachiko Fan Club at the university, so I invited them and they gave a speech. And the second one was held at the Fugenji Temple in Fuchu, Tokyo, and I asked the chief priest to talk about the Buddhism sermon related to Hachiko's spirit. And so this is the third Hachiko, Salon de Hachiko, and I'm so pleased to have it at the Consulate General of Japan, Ipos. So here's a picture of Hachiko, and this one is like a preserved stuffed Hachiko at National Museum Nature and Science. Did you go to the museum? You can actually see the stuffed Hachiko there. So, yes, in Ueno. So, as you notice, the left ear of Hachiko is dead. And Hachiko was a leader of several dogs at the Shibuya Station Square. And one day, a small dog was attacked by a larger one. He pretended that he tried to help the little one, and he was injured. Since then, his ear has been mended. So he was a very strong and very gentle dog. So my mother always remembers that he was a cream colored dog with a very nice eyes and one bent ear. So this is Professor Hidesaburo Ueno. He was a professor of the agricultural engineering at the University of Tokyo, and he's the owner of Hachiko. So I think you all know about the story, but let me explain briefly. So Hachiko was born in Odate City, and in Akita Prefecture in 1923. And he was adopted by Dr. Ueno in Shibuya. And Hachiko would accompany him to the university, wait while he's taught, and walk home with him afterward. When Dr. Ueno had a travel, Hachiko would see him at the Shibuya station and return in the evening to greet him. Then, May 21st, 1925, suddenly he passed away from a cerebral hemorrhage while at work. Yet Hachiko continued to return to Shibuya Station every day for 10 years until his own death in 1935. And my mother didn't tell me that she actually saw Hachiko until 2007 when we found all the pictures that my grandfather took. So when she saw the old pictures, she started to remember and suddenly said, "Oh, I saw Hachiko at Shibuya Station," and she started to talk about all the Tokyo pictures, very international and vibrant, which I didn't know, and not so many people know that Tokyo was totally different. So this is my grandfather who took the pictures, and he was a military officer and a diplomat, and also he was an author of a book. And he spoke French and Turkish, and this is a Turkish Japanese book. So I'll show you some pictures that he took during the 1930s. Could you see it kind of bright? Oh, it's okay. These are old photos, so it's hard to see, and maybe in this light it's a little bit black. Do you know Setagayaku? So these are Setagayaku back then. And on the left, this is Futabo Tamagawa. So they went like fishing and picnic over there. Now there are tower mansions over this place. And on the right, this is water towers in Setagayaku. So this is where my mother's family took their dog for work. Now it's all very, mostly this area is like all buildings. Okay, next. This is in Okutama, the very west of Tokyo. And it was very peaceful, but even today it looks quite similar. But as I said, that it was very international. There was a Western restaurant in Okutama. Next. The church at the right side is my mother's house. And under the Japanese rule, there is a place like a garage. And that's where they kept their dog. And she told me that back then, people kept big dogs in Tokyo, like Shepherd, Akita, St. Bernard, Doberman, Pointers. And it was very common to have a dog house under the second floor for these dogs. And also, dogs are very important because they need guard dogs. So these are also the pictures. My mother and her sisters with their friends. And on the right side is a Nabeshima Park. This, you might know, Nabeshima Park in Shoto. This one is still there. And it's a very nice park. It looks kind of similar. It's much smaller than before. So this is Shibuya. Okay, so next, 渋谷のショートです。でも全部変わりました。But the Nabeshima Shoto Park is still there. This is a picture not taken by my grandfather, but my mother's school trip to Kiyomizu Temple. And I thought it's very good because they have a little dog picture taken with them. And I asked my mother, and she said that maybe that was a temple's dog, and we loved it. So we have a picture taken.
You see it very, very
Very
small.
small, yeah. Okay, next. So after I heard my mother's story, I published When Hachiko Was Waiting at Shibuya Station in 2008, and that in Japanese, and then Reminiscences of Shibuya in 2019. This is a drawing that I made based on my mother's story. So she told me that when Hachiko appeared in the morning, there were like 10 or so dogs following Hachiko. And this is not really known to many people. So I asked her and I said, it looks like this? And she said, yes. So Hachiko was a leader of like 10 dogs. And a journalist said that he was looking for his testimony because someone told him that there were several dogs at the station. So he was very happy to hear about my mother's memoir because everybody thought that Hachiko was waiting at Shibuya station alone, but he wasn't. The next thing. And these are the letters that my mother received from her French pen pal. They called pen friends or pen pal. Back then, it was popular for children to exchange letters in French or in English, which is quite surprising. But my mother said that they were told to be international, trying to have friends in foreign countries. So when my mother was like maybe 12 or 13, she wrote to her friend, and these are the letters received, French friend. So because of these communications, Hachiko's story was known all over the world because it was really popular to tell about what happened in Japan and send these letters to abroad. So that's what happened. Next, and this is a very nice letter that
Japan, the U.S. children collaborations regarding Hachiko's statue in 1974. So when Hachiko was still alive, people were so impressed and they decided that they want to erect a statue. And then the foreign children heard about it and they donated money. They sent letters to Tokyo. So about about 4,000 American children donated to the U.S. organizer. The total amount was $65, which was equivalent in 600,000 yen now. So it's a lot of money. So here's one of the letter by an American child from Los Angeles. The devotion and the royalty of little Hachiko will ever be an inspiration for a close bond of friendship between U.S. and the Japanese children. So, and next. So there are 6 Japanese natural treasure dogs, and one is Akita, Kai, Kishu, Shiba, Shikoku, Hokkaido. And Akita is the only large dog among them. So, Akita in Odaten, Akita Prefecture, in the northwest of Japan, is the birthplace of both Hachiko and the Akita breed. And these dogs were used by Matagi hunters, bear hunters, since 16th century. And then during the Meiji era, 1868 to 1912, dog fighting became popular. They are not doing that anymore, but back then they had dog fighting. And leading to crossbreeding with shepherds, mastiffs, and Saharan dogs. So these crossbreeds were also called Akitas. So back then, Akitas look more like a mixture of shepherd or other dogs, and also there are like pure Akita dogs. Yeah, next, please. And this is a Rokenjinja shrine in Odate. And I like this shrine. This was built for real royal dog of the 17th century. So the object of worship is a dog named Shiva. And it's in the mountain of Akita, surrounded by cedar forest. So I went there with the Akita dogs, and it was really fun to climb up the hill and went to the small shrine over there. And 2020, they celebrate 400th anniversary, and they erected the statue of Akita dogs in the shrine. And then they asked me if I can have some Americans to donate for their cause. And several people from the US had funds donated money, and they built a very beautiful, nice statue as well. Next, please. And in Odate there is Akita Dog Visitor Center on the left. And the building was modeled after the old Shibuya station, which was shown in the black and white picture in the middle. And on the bottom, the brick building is a Usoket station. And there is a statue of Hachiko erected in 2012 after the movie was released and it became popular. So this is Hachi, a dog's tale by Richard Beer. And here's an autograph by the producer, Vicky Shigeru. She's a Japanese American and she was so impressed by the story of Hachiko. So she wanted to make the movie. And then Richard Gere was very much interested in Hachiko. So then it came out as a really nice, beautiful movie. But they changed the location from Japan to America. And the era this was like around 2000. So the era was also different. But the story itself is same. Next, please. Now I'd like to talk about the Akita dog colors. Have you ever seen Akita dogs? Yeah. So in Japan, it seems that the most popular one is like the one called red. the one like a golden brown with white face, white stomach. And many people think when they told what the Akita look like, they kind of think about this dog. So this color is called Aka, red, and there is Tora, brindle, which is black and white tiger patterns. And then Shiro, white, and Hachiko was a cream colored white. And then Goma, sesame, the one in the middle. So white, brown, and black. Okay, that makes. So now I'd like to talk about Helen Keller and Hachiko. Helen Keller had lots of connections with Hachiko, also with Japan. And I organized the exhibition in New York and Los Angeles in 2018. So Helen Keller was deeply moved by Hanawa Hokiichi, a Japanese grand scholar of Edo period, 1746 to 1821. And Helen's parents learned about this Japanese scholar Hanawa Hokiichi from Alexander Graham Bell, who is a famous telephone inventor. And then the reason that Graham Bell knew about Hanawa Hokiichi is there was a Japanese scholar, Shuji Izawa, who was sent from Ministry of Education of Japan to Boston to study about deaf education, because Graham Bell was also a specialist of deaf education. So this man talked about Hanawa Hokiichi to Graham Bell, and then Helen Keller's parents heard about it and told Helen that Hanawa Hokiichi is your role model. So I'm quite surprised that Helen Keller made him as a role model and tried to study, even though she had some handicaps. But she said that she was always encouraged by the sisters of Hokiichi. So there is a museum, Onko Kaikan in Shibuya, and there is a Hokiichi's statue. He's wearing this hat with like a bear. And these are the hats for special high-ranking scholars or priests in Edo period. And Hanawa Hokiichi was given the highest rank of Kenkyo for a blind man. So that's why he dressed like that. And he made a big library of important books. So in this museum, there are wood blocks of the classified books that he collected. So Helen Keller visited Onko Kaikan in Shibuya, and she touched the statue of Hokiichi, the desk he used, and she touched the painting block collections. And she said that visiting this site and touching his statue was the most significant event for her. Actually, my aunt, she said that Helen Keller visited her school in the visit during the 1937, so my aunt was very impressed by her. So during her visit, Helen said, I would like to have an Akita dog like Hachiko to connect the US and Japan. A young police officer, Ichiro Ogasawara, he was also a kendo master and the vice president of Akita Dog Preservation Society, gave her a 75-year-old puppy named Kamikaze. This is the first Akita dog introduced to the world. And so, but Kamikaze died of distemper, so they gave second Akita dog, Kenza, in 1939, and this dog lived a long and happy life with Helen. So this is Helen Keller's house in Connecticut, where she had Kenza, and the house is still there. And this is private road, so it can go inside. But yeah, it's same as Helen Keller lived there. So after that, there was a really dark period, and
there was a war and Japan and the US became enemies. And then the first statue of Hachiko was delivered to the army for metal in 1944. And then the sculptor Teru Ando, who made the first sculpture, was killed by the Tokyo air raid of 1945. Then the Shibuya was all destroyed. But then, after the war, American military asked Tokyo officials where about the statue of Hachiko. And they say that, why don't you erect the statue again? If you can't do it, we will do it. So there were these conversations between the American military and the Tokyo officials. And then the people in Shibuya said, okay, we want to build it. So they asked Teru Ando's son, Tsuyoshi Ando. He was also a sculptor to build the second statue. Then it was unveiled on August 15th, 1940, August 15th, 1948, as a kind of symbol of peace. So this is the second statue. And that's the one that when you go to Shibuya, you will see this statue. And Haruhikera visited again in 1948, and she touched the statue. She looks very happy, and people around her are so happy too. So this is the article from her visit to Japan in 1948. Now, I'm going to talk about two statues in America, and there is one at the Woonsocket Station in Rhode Island. And somebody went there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And the station is not used, so usually it's kind of like very quiet and nobody's there. But it's a very popular place for dog lovers and the movie fans. And sometimes when we do the event, people come and they bring dogs too. So this time, Hachiko Memorial at the statue of Hachiko at the Woonsocket Station, Rhode Island, March 8th. March 8th is the day that Hachiko died. In 2025, Consul General of Japan in Boston, Mr. Kotaro Suzuki, Rhode Island Sakura Princess were present. And then the dog, Yuki, he was just standing for Hachiko. And then so as I explained that whenever we had event, we ask Big East Akita Rescue Group. This is a rescue group who specializes in Akita dogs. And they rescue 60 or 70 dogs per year. And their members and their dogs came to the event. So this was really fun. So even police officers wanted to join us and have picture taken. And these two dogs, seemed they were impressed by the statue. So it was a really fun event. And this is another statue of Hachiko and Professor Ueno in New Jersey. So unveiling ceremony of the statue of Dr. Ueno and Hachiko at the Abe Pet Memorial Park in New Jersey. August 9th, 2016, Consul General of Japan in New York, Ambassador Mr. Reichiro Takahashi, and Big East Akita Rescue members were there. And then there is a Japanese Akita dog owned by the president of the Big East Akita Rescue, Joanne. And on the right, there is a big American Akita dog. This dog's name is Spartacus, and he's a very famous therapy dog. So whenever there are like some trauma incidents, this man, Brad Paul, he brings this therapy dog for children to feel more like a peaceful and stay calm. So these are both Akita dogs. And next, please. So here are pictures of the two statues. One on the left is a statue at the University of Tokyo, and one on the right is the one at
Abe Memorial Park. And the design of the statue were also professor of the University of Tokyo gave ideas to the sculptor. And they said that why don't you put the briefcase next to the professor so that it shows like the scene of the professor came out from the ticket gate, put the briefcase on the ground, and Hachiko jumped onto him, and they hugged each other. So this is a unique statue. So these pictures are both at the University of Tokyo, and students, professors, Hachiko fans, and dogs, they gather at the statue when we have an end. And this is a very famous place for dog lovers, dog owners to come and do the same pose as Dr. Weber and Hachiko. And the one on the left, this dog's name is Hidesaburo. So the name was taken from Dr. Hidesaburo Ueno, and it was really cute. The dog was trying very hard to do the same thing. On the right is also an Akita dog. So quite a few people come to the University of Tokyo campus to visit this statue, and some people do this. This was taken at the Museum of Dog in New York. Do you know the Museum of Dog? It's a very interesting museum in Manhattan near the Grand Central Station. So I had an event there, and this is also one of the rescued dogs by big instructor rescued Nada, and she's a nice white Akita dog. それは後で取ります。はい、Q&A。Okay, thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
So you were open for questions?
Yes, go ahead. I do so.
I just wondered, like, what did Hachiko eat all day when he was just waiting at the station? Did people give him food?
Oh, there was like a station person that was in charge of taking care of Hachiko, because after a while he became famous, and he had a place to sleep, and he was given quite good food.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Or do you have any dogs?
Oh, I used to have a Shetland Shih Tzu, but now I don't have a dog. But we had our friend Akita dog at our house whenever she needed somebody to take care. So we enjoyed having her. Yeah. Okay.
I have another question. So it's called an Akita dog. Does it come from the Akita prefecture in Japan?
Yes, Akita Prefecture. And the dog was called the Odate dog. So Odate is the birthplace of Hachiko, as well as this special breed. And the Odate is like a small area surrounded by mountains. So the dog was kept kind of pure in this small area. The people called Odate dog. But when they become more popular, they decided to call Akita dog. And any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of people think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think I used to think this. A lot of people think that Hachiko was a Shiba Ken or a Shiba Inu dog, and I feel like I've heard that some people get that confused. Have you ever heard people say that before? Or is that?
Yeah, some people asked if he was like a red Shiba.
Yeah.
But Shiba Inu also has like a kind of similar face, but narrower than Akita dog and much smaller. And Shiba Inu also very popular these days. So people kind of like think that maybe Hachiko was Shiba Inu. And also my mother said the stature is a little bit smaller than real Hachiko. So when you look at the statue, it doesn't look as big as Akita dog.
So the Akita dog is typically pretty big.
Big,
right? Like,
big.
yeah, I think I've seen.
110.
Oh, wow. That's a big dog, yeah.
Yes, once we had a,
I read that when someone has a baby, a lot of times in Japan they'll give an Akita
Oh, I didn't know about
I
it.
heard that, I've heard some people tell me that
When the
some-
baby
it's
is
for
born?
protection, yeah?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'll ask people from Odate because they know about the tradition.
Yeah, it's interesting, I've read a lot of
Mhm.
work about that.
But, yeah, they are very loyal, nice dogs.
Very loyal.
And they behave so well, so quiet. I noticed that the Shiba Inu is more like barking and kind of active.
Yeah.
And Akita dogs, they are very quiet. And they wait until they were told to do something or something happens, they fight to protect their owners. But usually they are quiet and you even forget that they are Akita dogs.
I think I've seen some in Japan, but I don't see that. Does anyone see any here in the US? I don't know if you do.
Yeah, I see
Yes, often. I had 3 of them.
Oh,
I
wow.
had 3 Akitas, yes.
Oh, my
Oh,
goodness.
really?
Yes.
What
there
are their
was.
names?
One was Bianca,
Bianca,
one was Lola,
Lola,
one was Hera.
Hera.
Oh,
Oh, God.
So Lola, we went to the anniversary, I went before anybody came.
Oh, really?
So I have a picture of my dog with the statue
Oh, so that was
during
March.
Woonsocket, yeah.
Oh, thank you for coming.
I didn't see you, but I went with my mom, so I went earlier, but
Oh, really?
yeah, and my dog Lola was there with me.
There were so many dogs.
There were.
There were like 30,
Yeah.
40 dogs there.
And my Akita came from the Big East Akita
Oh,
Rescue.
is that
All of my
you
dogs.
know,
Joanne.
Joanne Diamond.
From
She's
Joanne
great.
Diamond,
Yes, so
So-
she saved Akita in the US. She saved Akita from like Dubai or something, right?
yes.
Wow.
Yeah, she is very, the woman on the right is Joanne.
That's Joanne.
So-
And they do stay, they don't want to be bothered.
Mhm.
Like my Akita would sleep with my mother in her room, but would never come in my room
Mhm.
because of the loyalty.
Mhm.
Lola would never come in my room and sleep.
Mhm.
She'd always sleep in my mother. And I protected Lola. So they're very loyal,
Yes, I've
very loyal
noticed
to
that,
one,
yes,
and then the others.
Mhm.
So I have a lot of experience, 20 years with them.
Oh, so you know more about
I know
maybe
about them.
Hachiko as well?
Yes, ma'am.
So they have a very special
They're
nature.
very special.
Yeah, and Helen Keller said that she had other dogs too, several dogs, but she said that she was very close to Kenza, and she said that couldn't feel the gentleness of Kenza with other dogs. Didn't mean that she didn't like other dogs, but she found out that Kenza was so loyal to her. And at that time, there wasn't seeing my dog concept in like 1930s. And when I read about how Helen communicated with Kenza, because she can't hear, she can't see, so Kenza just doesn't
It's
try
it's energy.
to.
It's energy.
Yes, something more like a sixth sense. So they communicate with each other very well. And so, yeah, there is something that Akita dog can read your mind, very smart, and very interesting dog breed. But also, I love all sort of dogs. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No favorites.
Yeah. Hi.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You might want to tell people the difference between Japanese Akita, Jinsui Akita, and American
Oh,
Akita.
yes, yes.
Because you probably see that there's a difference.
Yeah,
in-
I was gonna talk about it and maybe I skipped it, but, it was like, well, I can show you, yeah, like on the left is a Japanese Akita, on the right is American Akita. And when there was a war, people were told to just, they can't have dogs anymore. The military protected the dogs for the farm. So it was a very sad time
In Japan.
in Japan. And then only Shepherd Akita was Akita. They were used as military dogs, and they found it easy to train Shepherd Akita cross dogs. So they were kept, but other than that, all dogs just people have to give up. And there was a small group of people who tried to hide Japanese octopus in the mountains. And they kept several of them in the mountains. So after the war was over, they started to breed from this less than 10 or less than 15 dogs to make Japanese Akita dogs. And also Shepherd and Akita mix. American soldiers who came to Japan, they loved them. And so they took them back to America. So that's how the American Akitas are spreading around here. And it was interesting, like my friend who lived in like Global Bay, she told me, we had a shepherd. And then I looked at the dog and it looked like a shepherd and the Akita cross. And I said, where did you get this dog? And from, what's the name of the US base in Aomori? Misawa. So she said that I got it from Misawa base. It seems that there are many Akita dogs that when people at the Misawa base had to leave, they couldn't take, and they buy the owners to have them. So there are some Japanese, US mixed Akita dogs in Japan too. But here you see a lot of American Akitas.
Are there any physical, are there any physical differences, characteristics between American and Japanese Akita dogs?
American Akitas are bigger.
Like
Bigger, like a football player. And the Japanese Akitas are kind of lean and thinner, but they both have standing ears, curled tails, and 2 layers of really thick fur. The long fur outside and the very nice short fur like a blanket inside. So it's the same thing. And face looks a little bit different. Japanese actor seems much. The face looks wider. And that's the difference. But they are both really smart and quiet. That I noticed. The characters are very special. I met a man in New York. He is the owner of an antique shop. He had an Akita dog, and he told me one day the Akita dog was behind the door in the library, and the 3 men with a gun came in to try to steal the things. And then suddenly this dog, they didn't even know that there was a dog, came out and jumped on 3 of them. He got 3 people. So he said that the dog saved my life. And he said that the dog was so quiet until then.
Yes, are Akita dogs from Japan allowed to come to the United States? As in, do you know if any Americans adopt Japanese?
Yes. Akita Dog Preservation Society, they have branches all over the world, and people who want to buy and who want to have the Japanese Akita dog, usually this is the place that they can contact, and they have them here.
Any more questions, comments?
動画をいいですか。で動画の最初の20秒ぐらいを。そうですね。で、I like to show you the conclusion of this talk with the YouTube I made, and I'm going to show you the Hachiko fans and the dogs in this short movie, which is like 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. Thank you everybody so much, and thank you to Yumi McDonald for coming
Thank you
down
for
here to
inviting
speak,
me.
up here to speak with all of us and give us this really hard. I've learned a lot. I still, until we had come up with this, he was a Shiba. I'm really, now I'm very interested in Akita dogs, and it's a really beautiful story. You know, if I could have pets in my apartment, I would be going and adopting right now. So, but thank you so much to Yumi McDonald. Another round of applause.
And if you go to Japan, please go to Shibuya and also Odate and the University of Tokyo to see the statues and also Akita dogs.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
See you next time.